What's up, everybody? It is another episode of Hell's Kitchen. It is actually the finale episode. We are super excited. We have not one, but two guests in the studio. We got a 2-hour finale to cover. Let's get it. Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Lem Gonsalves here, reporting live from the Hell's Kitchen restaurant in Las Vegas at the Caesars Palace. Super excited to be here. As soon as it opened, I couldn't wait to come. I was able to get a reservation. It was crazy. I got in here, snuck in there, don't tell anybody. They're probably looking for me now. Anyway, I'm here, I'm reporting. I want you to check out and see this layout. First thing I'm gonna show you is my scallops, and you can see the rest of the room. Here are my scallops that just came. This has like some celery roots and some bacon lardon.
I tried anything you say.
The scallops here, there's a puree under them. Oh, it's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
Beautiful reporting.
Look at that. Who's that? Who's she?
I just ate my scallops.
Hey.
They were amazing. Wow.
Bomb.
My auntie just came in.
Your
I'm
auntie?
about to show you that. I also want
entree. I was like,
say
hey, that's your auntie
congratulations
in.
to Michelle for winning this season of Hell's Kitchen. She's actually going to be working
Yeah,
here
Michelle.
as the head chef with that big fat salary, $250,000. So congratulations to her. Hope I can come back when she's here.
Yeah.
And be able to
of
meet
course.
her. That would be dope. Anyway,
Locking it in already.
I'll
I
show
love
you
it.
this entree real things. First of all, you see the pitchfork.
Oh, first of all, bomb. Again,
And
look at the
shout out
pitchfork.
to this being on a tree trunk. On a tree trunk, son.
It's like a real piece of a tree trunk.
That's super dope. Hell's Kitchen.
I swear.
No.
I swear, when I first looked up, I was like, yo, he's there.
It's like, ladies and gentlemen, Chef Ramsay is in the building. Wow.
Oh, man. What's up, everybody? Yeah.
Excellent video reporting.
You know,
Excellent.
do it on the fly, do what I can with my vertical reporting.
Yep.
Everyone's so mad about the horizontal.
He yelled at him real good.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, it is our after show finale for Hell's Kitchen. Super excited, as I mentioned before. I'm your host, Lem Gonsalves. As always, you can find me at The Poet Saint all day, every day. And next to me is the lovely, the talented, the incomparable Miss Ashley Chaney.
Oh, it's always so good. I'm going to miss these intros. Hey, everybody, what's up? It's Ashley. You want to talk to me? Let's do it online at Ashley on Camera. Find me there.
Yeah. And of course, one of my homies from way back, like 2 years, we talked about it. First show
Way back.
started
Way back.
2 years is a long time. That's like 700 and like it's like 800 something days. Anyway,
In dog years.
right? It's no, in real years. And Rhavin McSweaney, everybody. Yeah.
What it do? Rhavin with the B McSweaney here. You can find me at B Stays Busy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we got some more fire. And good that came in because he just like blows up.
That's right.
Blows
Reuben.
up the spot. It's Frank Moran, everybody.
Hey, everybody, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Yes. We're going to talk it all down right there.
That's right.
Talk
Quit
it down.
stealing my phrases, man. I'm just saying.
I didn't
In the
even give it to
studio,
him.
in the illustrious studio, she's been with us before, but she was a contestant on this season of Hell's Kitchen, and she's an amazing person. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Manda in the house.
Yes.
Thank you for having me back. Hey.
Yeah. Driving all the way from San Diego in the traffic.
Oh my gosh.
So we really love you for that.
The last time I drove up here was the fires.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's
the
right.
traffic was actually worse today.
Really?
Fire.
There's more people on
it
the road
was
now.
when there was the damn fires
Exactly.
everywhere.
Well, Manda, do you think it's because you don't have cupcakes this time and that affected your traffic?
Oh, man.
Or-
Not bearing
I'm
food.
just
what can I
saying.
do for you?
shade.
You're-
The shade.
What can I do for you?
I'll give you my whatever you want to
Listen.
send, some cupcakes,
All
some
of
pulled
that.
I will come
pork,
up all the
whatever.
time for
Okay.
you.
Whoa, it's
All
going
the time.
good. It's going good already.
Ladies and gentlemen, very, very excited because there is a winner this season. There's only one winner.
As opposed to other seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah. Trying something new this season at Hell's Kitchen.
We've got a winner.
Just keep it. You got 40 more minutes.
Keep those hits coming.
Yeah, you got to keep it coming. But ladies and gentlemen, on the phone with us, straight up from Caesars Towers in Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen, it's Michelle in the house, the winner of season 17.
Hello.
Hey, girl. Hey.
What's up, Michelle?
Nice to meet all of your voices.
We are all
And Manda,
super beautiful.
I'm
my
so happy
gosh.
to hear your voice.
I miss you. I'm gonna come squeeze you when you're in Vegas because I'm super close to you now. It'll give me
I'm in
a
Vegas
reason.
now.
Yeah.
so
Well, I
get
know,
over
and I'm
here.
in San Diego now, so
Exactly.
like I can get a babysitter.
Hey.
Right. Me and Manda
It's
already
nothing.
actually have reservations.
Yes.
You guys didn't know that yet.
Well, of
so we're
course.
gonna be
I know
going.
you do, yes.
Wait,
You weren't leaving until you had it all
Together
locked
or
down.
separately?
Don't worry about that.
Outside scandal here.
Yeah,
What's
you know, I'm just
happening?
saying, like, we're gonna be going.
Lem and I are
it's
gonna go
be-
have a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Crazy
And we're
things are
kick
gonna
it with
happen.
Michelle.
It's gonna be bomb.
Oh, bye. I guess
Anyway.
we didn't get the invite. So.
I'm guessing though, Michelle, that just the warm intro that you had here probably tops the feelings that you had when you first opened that door and went out kitchen, right?
Absolutely.
Y'all have no idea. I literally, my eyes were closed, and I had my hand on that handle so tight. I was just hoping that it opened, and it did. I didn't even see anything until after I opened the door, because I just had to hold my breath and wait a second. Because after filming for so long and going through all of that, it would have been, devastating to not open that door. But I'm telling you, the amount of support I've gotten throughout the season and even after the show wrapped, it's crazy how many people were supporting me. And I really appreciate it, all the people out there. It's great.
Including some of us on the panel who called your win from
the get.
get-go. Some of
From the
us.
get-go.
Some of us beautiful people on the panel.
We also said you were strong.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Lem's trying to make sure he
saying.
gets that researvation in. Yeah.
We also said you were strong. Anyway, again, congratulations. The video you were able to see, but you definitely can watch it back. Was a video I shot when I was there over the weekend, actually on Monday to be exact. So 2 days ago. I just realized that. It's crazy.
That was a lot of
It was,
moves
it,
ago.
it was in
Today,
Vegas.
so-
Come on, guys. It's Vegas. Super Bowl weekend. It's
Ladies
crazy.
and gentlemen.
Eagles.
But yeah, Eagles. Shout out to the Eagles. Congratulations. But yeah, the restaurant is amazing. Obviously, you got to see it. You're there at Caesars now. What are your feelings now,
Right.
being where you're going to be working for the next year and maybe even longer?
So I was actually here for the grand opening with the Final Four. So
Oh,
that was
dope.
the first time I got to see the restaurant, and that was crazy. There was like cameras everywhere, red carpet. It was beautiful. But I got to see it today without all of the showmanship going on. I guess lack of a better term, because it is a Hell's Kitchen restaurant. So
Right.
it's gorgeous. Everything's brand new. I get to walk around the back of house, and it's such a small kitchen for the volume of reservations that the restaurant's getting. I'm just really excited to get started, to be honest, because I know they need me, and I need them, because I'm excited to get this next part of my career going. So I'm
Absolutely.
definitely excited. Seeing it in real life instead of like on television, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because for Michelle, you win the season. And you get to be the head chef over at the Hell's Kitchen restaurant, but there's a certain time gap between you
year.
winning and this. So what's it like
Right.
for you? I mean, how much are they keeping you in the loop? Because I know they can't bring you out, but are they keeping you in the loop, just
Right.
contacting you?
Well, so we filmed, it was almost exactly a year between the season wrapping, the filming wrapping, and the restaurant opening,
Oh,
which
wow.
is a very fast turnaround to open a restaurant, from them finding the head chef to opening a brand new restaurant with brand new everything on the inside in a year. It's amazing what the team here at Caesars and with Gordon Ramsay did in that amount of time to get a restaurant of this caliber up and running. And that's why I'm ready to get started, because I haven't been able to be part of like the soft opening, the grand opening. I wasn't able to participate because I had to pretend like I didn't know what was going to happen, have to be really coy about it. Like, oh, watch the next episode to see how
Right.
far I make it. Like, we have to act that way. And it's great now, because I walked into the restaurant earlier and literally people started lining up to take a picture with me.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like, why? Like, I didn't understand. It's something I'm going to have to get used to, but at the same time, I don't understand. I'm like, I just want to cook you a risotto
Right.
and make
Get
you
those scallops
Wellingtons, but
popping.
I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
To be honest,
I
holding
wanna-
it in for that long is really hard.
Oh, gotta be. Manda, I want to go to you real quick because obviously you were, in the trenches with Michelle. What can you say about her as a contestant and how she was, during the show on your point of view?
I think that Michelle is like a favorite for a reason. She's from the get-go, she started out really, really strong. I think everybody was like, she can win this game. Even us that were competing against her, we were like, damn, she's good. I think that it was cool for me to watch the season and then know like how we were behind the scenes, so to speak, and see Michelle's growth from start to finish, because she is really young and I think she gets a lot of shit for that. Sorry.
True.
And
True
she's
story.
tiny like me, and I can tell you from experience that when you are a small girl in a kitchen, you have to fight extra hard, and people think that they can walk all over you, including other females, like your girl.
Oh,
I was waiting for that.
We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about- we're
we'll
gonna
talk about
we're
that.
gonna talk about
But I remember the one day that Michelle was having a pretty difficult time with Elise, and I was sitting outside.
The one day?
Well, the one day in particular, and we were outside. We were smoking a cigarette, and I forget how the conversation went, but I had put my mommy hat on for a minute and was just like, girl, you just got to do you and relax and not worry about what this chick says. And I think after that, like, Michelle just like took off. Like I watched it all happen, and then even like the finale. I was actually in the dining room. Nobody knows that.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
But I watched it all happen, and I was like, damn, like, she's a beast.
That's dope.
It wasn't even, like, funny. I was just like, she won. I didn't stay for the door opening and everything, but I didn't have to.
Right.
I went back to my
already knew.
hotel
You knew.
room, drank, and
Yeah.
was like, she won. I know she did.
She got this. She got this.
She's got this.
She got this.
Speaking of mommy, Amanda, somebody in the chat, Julie Cody says, the baby say hi, mommy.
Aw, that's my nanny.
Any of you guys who are on the chat, and if you have questions for Amanda or Michelle, hop in there and let us know. We'll maybe ask them for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to kind of touch a little bit on the 2-hour finale because it was a little bit different in the sense that, of course, it was 2 parts, but there was 3 people going into it. And it was, Michelle, it was you, Nick, and Benjamin, who
Right.
I was not mad at that top 3.
No, that's great.
I thought it was a great top 3. I think all 3 of them deserved to be there. And so they paired up, with randomly with sous chefs, and then you prepared a tasting menu, and then kind of showed it to Chef Ramsay, and then he tasted it and kind of went from there. And Michelle, I wanted to kind of ask you what made you choose the dishes that you did? Like, what was your inspiration?
Well, a lot of my experience has been with Asian cuisine. I have a good amount of experience in a lot of different cuisines, but Japanese specifically is my favorite, just based on the elegance and discipline it takes to execute dishes in that cuisine. So I really wanted to go a particular style. I didn't want to have a random assortment of dishes. I wanted to show Chef Ramsay that I can create a composed menu, not just one composed dish at a time. So that's why I went the route that I did. And I wanted to stay specific to one cuisine and really show how much I've grown since my original season, and that I am a chef. I'm not just a line cook like I was the first time I did this. And that I can create dishes that are a composed menu that really show a lot of effort and elegance. And that's why I chose the dishes I did. And Chef Jockey, I was so happy to get him as my sous chef. He really helped me complete all of the dishes, because after 2.5 weeks of filming and only having like 1 or 2 days off, your mind starts to get shot.
Right.
So
Imagine.
actually getting to sit down and write something, it's really hard to pull that out of you. You're exhausted mentally. So he really helped me a lot, and I really enjoyed working with him. He's hilarious. I don't know if you guys know of this show called like Faulty Towers. It used to be on BBC back in the day. But he reminds me of like a character from Faulty Towers. I loved him. He was great. I couldn't have done it without him.
Type of humor. Yeah, you're and it's interesting you said that, because now I'm looking at my notes and I wrote down all of the dishes and they all had that Asian
feel.
sense
for
to
sure.
it.
Yeah.
And it all looked, oh my gosh, the Crudo, the Hamachi Crudo, that joint.
I would love to see you, like, with no menu, explain what you're eating like this. It's got some celery up on here, tomatoes.
Hey,
It's
I
bomb.
said celery roots, okay? I
said
said
bacon,
celery.
lardon.
That's what it was.
Some
They
bacon.
said. Anyway, don't
It's
hate.
bomb, and that's all you need to know.
Exactly.
That's gonna be his menu. It's bomb. Just eat
First
it.
of all, you see the bomb.
That's all I get it.
Bomb.
But what stood out to me was the Hamachi Crudo and the uni risotto, which I didn't even know existed. That just sounds amazing. But yeah, and then chicken thigh. I mean, I've had a billion pieces of chicken in my lifetime, and when Chef Ramsay, when he ate that, and he was like, "Ooh," like it was like that was the best thing he had. I was like a chicken
was
thigh,
like,
and he
holla,
mentioned
holla,
about
holla.
yeah. He was like, "You elevated this." I was like, "That's."
I love that
pretty
chicken
right.
thigh
It's
too.
such an underrated cut of meat.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really
chicken thighs
is,
are
and I
the
think-
best part of the chicken.
It really is. And I think, Michelle, you are really, really smart to do that, because anybody who knows Chef Ramsay, and especially like those of us who have been through this competition before, we know that he loves like using those cheaper cuts of meat and doing
Elevating
exactly what
them.
she did, elevating them, because it's all about profit margin.
Totally.
And at the end of the day, like, he's entrusting you with his business,
Oh, that's a
and the
whole nother
business has
level.
to make
Yeah.
money. And you know, you just took something that you can get from a purveyor for 99 cents a pound and made it, you know, a $20 dish. And that was so smart. I was like watching that, and I was like, oh yeah, go Michelle. I want that.
That's a whole nother level.
And I wouldn't even think that,
Yeah.
Right.
but that makes sense. That
So
he's
much.
entrusting you with business, and there was even a challenge, the challenge of the
the pasta
profit
challenge.
Yeah, exactly, to see how you can do with that. That's
Which makes going out to dinner as like a layman suck, because we're like, oh, that's exactly how much we're getting
right.
getting it given.
Well, the money that you put into buying a dish goes to more than just the chef. There's dishwashers, there's people cleaning the meats, there's butchers, there's the servers, hostesses. The list goes on and on. It's crazy how much goes on in a restaurant. So
You can
it
take
makes
all
a lot
my
of
money.
sense when you
It's
think about
all
it.
worth it.
Yeah,
You can hear
most
it all. It's
most
so good.
restaurants only have a margin of like 10%, and like
Really?
oh yeah,
when all is said
when
and-
all
all
is said and
said and
done, I
done.
mean electricity and gas and
Right.
all of that stuff. Like, so I mean, it's the business side of a restaurant is so much. I mean, you think cooking on a line is intense? Sitting behind a bunch of P&Ls for a couple
Right.
hours is
Right.
intense,
It's a lot.
because you're like, oh my god, I can't even pay myself.
Real numbers right there.
right.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the California Culinary Awards.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That's what I don't know, because like Michelle,
weren't,
certainly, like you've
televised.
been on the show before, you had to know this was a
Right.
setup, right?
I do.
I knew that this. First of all, they didn't even show like 2 hours of us playing games on a hill with Marino, drinking a glass of wine, because they were stalling us to
boy.
get ready for these awards, quote unquote. So, like, I was getting nervous, because I'm like, there's no way we're gonna end filming tomorrow and we're not cooking tonight. And I kept telling Nick. And he was like, "No, honey, it's okay."
No, honey.
He's like, take your ponytail holder off your wrist. It doesn't match your outfit. You don't need it. And I'm like, I'm wearing this ponytail holder on my wrist. I know I'm gonna have to put my hair up and kick these heels off. Like, I was like, I know this is happening. So, yeah, it was. I was nervous getting ready, because they had me try on like 5 different dresses. That's why I was like, this is not my thing, trying on dresses. And then they like curled my hair and did my makeup, and the whole time I'm sitting there, and I then smoked cigarettes. I've quit since then, but I ran out of cigarettes earlier that day, so I was like fiending in this little hotel room, like getting really nervous, and I'm like, I'm over here like a monster, like, get me a pack of cigarettes right now, because I knew something was going to happen. I was getting so nervous, and it's terrible that I like relied on that, but still,
It
I knew
got
something
you
was going to
through,
happen.
that's
There's
for
always
sure.
something going on in Hell's Kitchen.
Always, always. So you guys, pretend you're gonna get this award. I mean, I knew. I was like, this is gonna be. This is not gonna be. I mean, it's not gonna happen. They're gonna be cooking. Has to work, especially because it was 3 of y'all. Because I'm like, they got to get it down to 2 at some point. So I figured there was going to be a setup, and sure enough, it was. I do, shout out to Hell's Kitchen and Fox for kind of, they do come up with different things. It's coming, but they do it in different ways. So this was, the CCAs, and this is going to be like this red carpet, and,
prestigious CCA.
But
prestigious.
don't you think it was kind of like they cheaped it out a little bit? I was kind of bummed out.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like my season, they were cooking on a battleship. Like that was cool.
Oh,
And like
Manda,
all
you
the
had
extra.
to be at this resort. Let me tell you, if you've never been to Calamigos Ranch, you need to
honey.
go. That place was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I know.
And
but-
expensive.
They didn't show everything because
Obvious.
we were blown away when they were walking us through this place. And the whole setup, it literally looked like an award show. Like for a second, I did think it was real when we showed up because there were like photographers everywhere. Like obviously we didn't see this kitchen on the side, but that place was so cool.
Yeah. As
Cooler than a battleship.
As soon as they said Malibu, I was like, oh yeah, this is pricey. This is pricey. So you ended up having to cook the same dishes that you cooked before, but now you had 5 judges that were part of the Caesars Entertainment executives. And they then scored you, which I'm like biting my nails because it was like so close. And then it was all tied at the end, and then you had the one gentleman that basically decided, the fate, and it ended up, with you and Benjamin advancing, and your boy Nick not advancing.
Boo!
I was so sad when Nick did not get picked. I was so disappointed.
mad.
I just looked over at him and gave him a hug as soon as he said Benjamin's name. I was like, man, that sucks.
I thought it was going to be Nick.
I thought it was
got
going
him on
to be
my
you too,
team.
for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then you don't have to like go against your buddy, right? Wouldn't that be a little sad to have to beat him?
Honestly, like my whole attitude about it was that I want to go up against the best because if I'm going to win, it's going to be against a good competitor. Because if I go against someone that's not as good, then that's, I don't know. It's like what Millie said one time. It's like not as cool. So I really wanted to go against Nick because I see him as my equal and Ben as well. But I just thought it would have been cool, even though we are like really good friends.
Right.
That's another reason I wanted him in the finale.
Manda, you kind of you cooked with both of them in the kitchen. So who do you think should
To
have
be
been
fair,
in?
I never actually cooked with Ben or Nick, but I, watching the season and knowing how they cook and knowing how they are in the kitchens, even just like those last dishes. Nick's dish, the one with the carrot beurre blanc, Chef Ramsay literally stopped in his tracks and said, "That's friggin' good," and looked over at Chef Christina and was like, "Did you taste
this?
that?"
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it was that good to make him stop. And I know that, with the editing and stuff, that they don't show his whole critique most of the time. And I'm sure everybody had, like, amazing critiques on all of their food, because all of their food was amazing. But, like, I just think that Nick's dishes were slightly more creative and elevated. And with no disrespect to Ben, Ben's a great chef. I just think that, his dishes were more deserving of that final spot. That's what I think.
I see. He did stop in his tracks for that because he was
He sure
worried.
did.
He was worried. He was like, "Oh, it's broken,"
did.
and I don't even know what that means, but he was worried about it, and he was just like, and then it ended up being like really tasty. So
A broken beurre blanc
broken's
is not
not
fun.
it's not fun. Apparently, because he was stressing.
Yeah.
Now I would say during those critiques though, because he knocked them for was it Ben to have it on one of the tree oak.
The tree
stumps?
trunk.
Oh,
Tree trunk.
yes.
And then right there at the restaurant,
Yeah.
there's something served right to you on that tree trunk.
Tree
Got
trunk.
this on a piece of tree
He
trunk.
did like trunks and boards and stuff. He did have a point, are for like more rustic looking stuff, and
I had
yours was
chicken,
a burger.
Yeah, I had a chicken
right?
sandwich.
There you go.
Yeah, with fries.
That's pretty rustic.
Whatever. Don't knock Chef Ramsay. He'll kick your ass.
And rightfully so.
It could have been served on a paper plate, and that thing was amazing.
It would have been
I wouldn't
bomb.
have- It would have been bomb. Exactly. I want to talk to Michelle about this choosing because I was super surprised.
Yeah, man.
Of course. So
I was mad.
yeah, you got the first choice, and shout out to Nick for being a good sport because he literally lost. And I don't know with editing, I don't know how much time lapsed,
had to
but he
turn around
literally
and
was
be
like, "Yeah, you lost. Okay, now stand over there." Okay, I was like,
He literally was off the stage for like 2 minutes.
Damn.
That was about it.
Yeah, I was like, "Wow."
What a good dude.
Just stay
So
up there.
you have the first choice, and you pick your boy, which no surprise on that. And
Right.
then Ben goes, he picks Jennifer, and then it starts going back and forth, and then it gets down to Barbie and Elise, which no surprise there.
Right.
It's your choice, and
Right.
I'm like, okay, obviously these are not the greatest picks, but because of your history with Elise, I assumed right out the gate, I'm like, she's gonna pick Barbie because that would be suicide if she picked Elise. And then you're like, I'm gonna pick Elise, and then Barbie goes to Ben, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to talk to her because I need to find out what this was about because I just couldn't believe it. Please let me know.
So I watched Hell's Kitchen before I did the show. That's why I auditioned in the first place because I love the show so much. So getting down to the finale, I knew that I was going to have to choose my brigade. So I actually had ran through the scenario in my head prior to getting into the finale because I knew it was a possibility that it would come down to Barbie and Elise. With Elise, I could predict how she was going to act. She was going to have an attitude. She was going to be a little defiant, but she's proud and she won't cook anything badly if it's going to make her look badly.
That's right.
Whereas Barbie was, as Ben said, a wild card. I had no idea if she was going to work against me or work for me, or if she was going to do well or not, or if she was going to even be in the headspace to want to cook at all. Yes, I had my differences with Elise. However, I'm not petty, and I'm going to pick the person that I think is going to be better for the team. And regardless of Elise's attitude, she was the better pick between the two. So that was my whole thinking behind it. I know I upset a lot of people choosing her, but they showed a lot more of Elise and I's feud than Barbie and I, because Barbie and I weren't best friends either.
Oh, you're talking about during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elise was more consistent, to be honest. She was consistently good at her dishes that she made,
Right.
regardless of if they were like the exact same dish over and over again. And she was consistently had a bad attitude. So she's predictable. Like, I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Gotcha.
And I knew I could deal with it because I literally dealt with it every single day for 3 weeks. So.
And you were smart too,
Yeah,
because you actually put on appetizers, so that way you know right out the gate if it was going to be a problem
You could
or
course
not. You could kind of shift things around. So
So you
Yeah,
stayed
so
ready.
I had my plan B was if she was gonna continue with her attitude, I was just gonna kick her out and have Dana do apps and then have her run over to fish. Like, I already had a plan in motion. I knew exactly what was gonna happen. But thankfully, Elise came through for me. Like, I
She
know
did.
a lot of people speak negatively about Elise, but
Not Lem.
I gave her a hug
Not
and I
Lem.
thanked her and I shook her hand after that service because she came through. She was solid. She did everything I asked her to. Even though during prep she had an attitude,
Right.
she still was solid. And I thank Elise for that because
She's a solid
she helped me
chef.
win.
I want to talk to you about that attitude that she was throwing, which was, it got uncomfortable for me because Nick is obviously like your buddy and your close friend, and then Elise starts, talking up, and then Nick takes over and is like, "Oh no, you shut your mouth," and then it's like a thing between. Did you feel a little bit torn between like wanting to defend Nick but yet also like, no, seriously, Elise, shut up, kind of deal? Like, how did you feel when Nick
I
was?
just wanted to keep the peace, honestly, during dinner service. I know that chefs create great food when they're in a good mood. When I'm angry or upset and I'm cooking, it shows in the food that you're making. So I was trying to go around all of that negativity, whether it come from Elise or, someone working slow. That's why I continuously told her, like, set up your station, because obviously I wasn't happy with what she was doing. So it's just a way you have to deal with people to stay positive, because they can't feed off of your negativity if you're not giving it to them.
Are
So
you sure
I
you're,
was just
are
like,
you sure
y'all,
you're
let's
26?
I know,
Right,
Like-
right. That's a real
Like, wait,
shout
what?
out.
Yeah.
Shout out to staying ready so you don't have to get ready
Yeah.
and being positive. You obviously did a lot of that throughout the duration of the whole run because you had to deal with Elise and all these other elements of filming and being exhausted and your brain being fried. Like, how were you able to just monitor that and to overcome all of that?
To be honest, it's really hard. I carried a cigarette case around with me because we couldn't have like labels. So inside of that case, I obviously kept a couple smokes to calm me down if I had the chance to smoke one. But I also kept Polaroids of my sister and my nephews in there.
Aww.
And I also had a list of rules. I think I shared them with you, Manda.
Yes, I've seen them.
There were, I think I shared them with everyone there because they made me feel better every time I read them.
We'd love to
And
hear
I don't
them.
remember
We'd
all
love
of
to hear
them.
them.
I don't remember all of them, and I don't have a piece of paper. I gave it to someone who needed it more than I did. But it was basically like, don't be afraid to say yes. Don't be afraid to say no. Stay true to yourself. Things like this. It was just 10 things that I would just read to myself over and over again, and I would kiss my nephews goodnight. And I would go to contestants when I was feeling out of it. Like Manda, I would go to her and be like, Manda, tell me about your kids. What is your life like outside of here? And I would do it with Millie because Millie just had a kid. I'm like, Millie, tell me about Pepper. Just to like get out of Hell's Kitchen without leaving Hell's Kitchen. That was really all we could do
That
to
is
stay
so
sane.
smart.
Was like, tell me about your personal life because I don't really care about being in Hell's Kitchen right this moment. So there's just things you have to do. There's tricks that you know, especially
But
all
that
of us
shows the
doing it a
good in
second
you.
time.
That really shows
I have
the
to
good in
say,
you.
like, Michelle is like I wasn't upset about leaving because I was over it. You know, like I couldn't deal with the yelling anymore. I had a migraine every damn day, and like I was just like, I am too old, I am too tired, and my kids need me way too much. Like I'm going home. If I gotta hear screaming, I'm gonna hear screaming from my kids. But Michelle, like, out of everybody there, and for her being so, you know, young, quote unquote young, I think that Michelle is wise way beyond her years.
Definitely
And
old
I
soul.
think that, you know, her maturity shows, especially with dealing with Elise getting in her face constantly, because I'll tell you, like, there are a lot of people that would not deal with that. Like, and we all deal with crap in our own ways. Like, I usually just laugh at people and walk away, or like make a your mama joke or something, and like like, you're dumb, sorry, and walk away. Like, and Michelle just like straight up like looks at them and is like, I'm sorry you feel like that, but
She did.
I'ma do me and you do you, and at the end of the day, we're getting our paychecks.
I don't
One-
think that's lost on Chef Ramsay either. I mean, he obviously
Yeah.
sees your leadership skills and your diplomacy and the way you can run a kitchen and manage personalities. That's huge. That's a huge part of being a head chef.
I was going to say that too, because I think also by picking Elise, because she is such a strong personality, what that shows is that you could manage her, and he's looking for a head chef at the end of the day. He's looking for somebody to run, you know, Hell's Kitchen in Vegas. So
She ain't scared.
Exactly. if she could control Elise and have her do what she needs to do,
Then she can
that
control
speaks
anybody.
volumes,
Yeah.
you know, of someone that, you know, managing personalities. Because that's at the end of the day, I'm assuming that's what a head chef would do. You're managing different
Absolutely.
people, you're
So you
managing
can handle your
personalities.
business
Yeah,
under
you
any
obviously have to be able to
circumstance.
cook well, but it's also managing people.
Right, and I mean, and let's not, you know, we won't lie about it. Elise is an amazing cook. She's a great
Yes,
chef.
she is.
She
She
can
is.
cook some
Yeah,
really
yeah, Lynn knows
bomb
that.
food.
Yeah.
Lem chicken wings.
Yeah.
Chicken.
That child is an HR nightmare. Like,
Right.
You can't put somebody like that in a head chef position
Sure.
because you're gonna get sued.
I get that. I get that.
Just to jump to the end, when the door does open, Michelle, and you walk out, and then we see
Elise crying.
I was like, is it more for her that she's crying, or more for
I
Michelle?
had a feeling she was not crying like happy tears.
No, it was like,
I just
what?
had a big feeling that wasn't the tears
No,
I was seeing.
I knew
at
that.
all.
I knew that.
She's like, I did not come here to lose.
Who
I
was
did
it?
not come here to not
That?
win.
Who
That's
was it
what's
that
going on.
went to her and was like, "Are you okay?"
It was Michelle.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and she goes, I don't need a hug. I don't need a hug. Like, I'm like, I think you need a big hug, girl. I think you need a big
So I
hug.
was like, are you okay, Elise?
Yeah, I my favorite comment though from Elise was, "Don't act like you never had a rubber in your face to dinner."
Oh, she did say that.
That's
Yo.
a bit. Yeah. Oh,
Yo,
I wasn't sure if she was joking, but it looks dead serious.
Oh, no. When have you seen Elise joke?
Was she joking, Michelle? I'm thinking she was serious.
She was serious.
I honestly don't even remember that happening
Oh,
in
man.
real time.
Uh huh.
So I'm not surprised that she did that,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I've
But,
never heard
you
her
know, we
say
all deal
anything
with
like that.
our unhappiness in our own ways.
Our own
I'll just say that.
Michelle, we've got Dylan Jackson in the chat room asking if you have any contact with Elise post the show.
No, I don't. I think I've followed her on Facebook and Instagram, but I have not spoken to Elise since the filming wrap.
No likes or anything?
No,
You guys
yeah.
don't share a like or no?
Are you hearting any
No,
of her
I mean,
photos?
I think our relationship has ended. To be honest, it was just about the show.
Until she wants
but I know
until she
she's
wants a
doing
table at Hell's
great.
Kitchen.
Until she
She
comes
has
to the
her own
kitchen.
business, as far as I know, and she helps people get into shape and change their lives in nutritional ways, and I can appreciate that because that's really hard to do.
She has the best answers.
Change your lifestyle.
What year are you running for president? And let's get that campaign started. Stat.
Straight up.
I'm like bugging over here.
Man, I just a quick
I'm
question for you.
blushing. Y'all are too kind.
Because you said sitting in that position, it kind of made you feel like you're back doing the confessionals.
Oh, I hate those.
Just for a pure process junkie point, when kind of setting up the schedule of the day, when are you doing those confessionals in the midst of all the services and
Whenever
competitions?
the hell they decide to pull you out. I mean, you wake up in
Yes.
the morning and you could have 5 minutes to get ready, or you can have 20 minutes to get ready, or they could say, you know, hey man, like there's always like somebody at the doorway, like a PA, like looking in, like get Manda, like, or get Michelle, and you're like, God damn it.
The worst is when they don't pull you all day, and then you have to sit in that room for like 2 hours straight at the end of the
It's
night.
the worst.
That's the worst.
So on season 15, they were very, very good at like pulling you throughout the day, which at the time I always was really, really annoyed about because you're in the middle of prep and they pull you. The only time that they don't pull you,
Is
from what I
during
know,
service?
is during the actual dinner service.
okay.
But then they'll pull you like right before or right after, and then afterwards, you always know like the producers and the PAs never like tell you your schedule or what you're gonna do, but you pick up clues from them. Like they'll say, "Don't get out of your jacket," or like you'll be like, "Hey, like I'm gonna take a shower," and they're like, "No, not yet." And you're like, "God damn it! Like, what am I doing now?"
Or they'll stop mid question in confessionals and be like, "Go back to the dorms."
Yeah,
And you're
exactly.
like,
And
why?
you're like, "What's
and then
happening?"
you get back to the dorms, and as soon as you walk in, the phone like rings.
And it's Chef Ramsay,
So-
like, come down to the kitchen. You're like, damn it.
Oh.
But, I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many times that I went down, because, like, you're after service. So this time around, they waited a lot longer throughout the day and didn't do confessionals. And then it would be 9, 10 o'clock at night, and they'd pull you in, and they'd be like, okay, let's go back. And you're like, okay. And they're like,
start.
all right. So you wake up, and Elise is yelling about Michelle again. How do you feel? And I'm just like, just tell me what to say at this point. Like, I can't tell you how many times I went into that confession booth, like, in, like, booty shorts or, like, no pants. Because I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I'm taking my pants
Yeah.
off.
We knew it. We knew you guys weren't wearing pants under there. We knew it.
Or the best with, like, the bikini top underneath. Because we're like, well, I'm going to jump in the hot tub for, like, 5 minutes. And I'm just going to put my jacket back on.
Over the bikini top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's comedy. That's comedy.
The confessionals are really the worst, though. Like, I think I'm still friends with a couple of the PAs that we had on the show, Andy and Kalinka. They were so great. But I was always the worst about it. Like, when they'd be like, Michelle, can I grab you for a second? I'd be like, oh, you can grab me anytime. Like, maybe later. And, like, I hated confessionals. And I would literally sit there and they'd ask me a question, the same question, like 5 different ways. But I would just deliberately answer the question the same. And you know what got me is when I was watching the season back, I was waiting to see those questions that they asked me over and over and over again, and they don't
never
even
do.
show it. And I'm
No.
like, I spent hours in that room.
Oh, they only take such a
Hours.
small fraction from all of
Hours and
that.
hours, and I tell people this all the time because I mean we were just joking about this. My friend Anthony and I, like, people, for some reason, like, I don't know, like, if it just doesn't translate to, like, people who are just watching it on TV, but, like, I've gotten random questions like, oh, so wait, what, do you go back and film every week, or they think it's live, and I'm like, no, like, it's not the way it works.
No.
But, like, those
That's
confessions.
so funny. When I told my boss at my job that I was doing Hell's Kitchen All-Stars, he was like, is that why you're so tired all the time? And I was like, no, because I'm always here working.
Hilarious.
Like, hello, I've had brown hair for a year now.
But yeah, you're literally in those confessionals like throughout the day for hours on end sometimes, and they're hot, and it's not fun. Like I used to be so like bratty about it because I'd just be like, I'm done. Like, just tell me what you want me to say, or
Confessions
bring
of the
me wine.
confessionals.
Bring me wine, and I'll talk all night.
Well, unfortunately, we have to wrap our show. But first of all, Michelle, again, congratulations on winning season 17. Go check her out at the Hell's Kitchen restaurant there, Season Entertainment. And also, shout out to Manda for being here in the studio with us. Thank you so much.
Driving all the way from San Diego.
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
Anything for you, Ashley.
That's tiny and mighty.
Right, with nothing
No
to feed
cupcakes
us.
needed. She's that
But it's
sweet.
We're going out.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Wait,
That's
all
right.
of us or
We're
just
going-
Lem?
Yeah.
Well, I got plans for him.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Ooh.
And Michelle, get ready because Lem's going to blow up your phone when he gets out to Vegas. How about that table? How about that table?
You know what? And Michelle's
on,
gonna be
I'm here, so-
exactly. See, that's right. That's right. She knows what's up.
Don't worry. Like I know the head chef.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show. We're gonna thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you everyone in the live chat, and thank you everyone for joining us all season long, being here with us. We appreciate it. Super excited. We are going to continue this series, food competition, but you got to stay tuned. What we're going to be doing next. So keep with us. I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves. You can find me always at the Poet Saint all day, every day. Next to me is Ashley. Where you at?
Guys, thanks so much for watching tonight, and like Lem said, every one of our shows this season. But let's talk some more. Let's keep the conversation going. Find me on social at Ashley on Camera, and let's talk there.
It's been real. Rhavin with the V signing out. You can find me at B Stays Busy.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie, and you can see Lem and I in the hot tub just chilling out after a long season of Hell's Kitchen.
Never.
Hot tubbing it.
Never happened.
Yummy.
Manda, where can they find you?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. By the way, I'm
Absolutely.
super happy to be here. You guys can find me anywhere on social media. Mom Chef Nerd.
Hey.
Oh, love it. Check out all those boxes. Boom.
Right. And Michelle, I know that you don't ever use Twitter, but if they wanted to find you, where do you think your Twitter is?
Or Instagram.
Or Facebook.
Yeah.
So you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Chef Michelle Tribble. And y'all, thanks for having me today.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
again. Ladies and
Michelle, I
gentlemen.
miss your
Thank
face.
you.
Yeah, that's been our show. We'll see you
Yeah,
later.
same, Manda. You got to get out here.
Yes.
Signing off. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.